Hello, welcome to the lab with me, Atomic Tom. In this video, we're going to be thinking about communication. One of the ways that we can get connections with people by sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, feelings, observations. Communication plays such an important role in our lives. Now, because these videos are all about science, we're going to be thinking also about the technology of communication. We could think about language and words, but we're actually going to be thinking about how those messages are passed. You all know about the World Wide Web, the internet now, the way that computers are connected together, the way that we can pass messages over these computers, in the way that you're watching this on a computer right now. Or we could go back a little bit further and you might think about phones. We used to have phones in our houses that we could call each other up on, landlines. Hardly anyone even has those anymore because we've moved on to mobile phones. Or we could go back a bit further and we could think about sending letters. But there's a really important one in between those that you might not have heard of. Today we're going to be thinking about the telegraph. The telegraph was such an important invention because it was the beginning of messages being sent electronically. So when I said letters a moment ago, for hundreds of years, thousands of years, people have been able to send letters, send messages. In ancient Greece, they used to write who they voted for on a piece of pottery. There are all sorts of ways that we can put physical messages onto something. And if the person that you're trying to send it to is next to you, that's nice and easy. You can pass them it. If you wanted to send a letter across a country, you might be able to get somebody to take that letter on horseback. But it would be quite slow. So the telegraph was the first thing that let messages be sent electronically. Now this invention really started to work in about 1840, the 1840s, almost 200 years ago. Before that, every message passed would have been physical, a letter, something like that, or using our eyes. So maybe lights being flashed, a fire being lit, and you could pass messages maybe with beacons on hills. But these were quite simple messages. And using an electrical system, messages could be sent quickly and could have detail in them. So this is how it worked. In one office, in one building, there would be a special telegraph machine. And what would happen is that machine would pretty much have two bits of metal in it. And when those metal bits touched each other, they would send electricity through a wire. That wire would go out of the building, along a railway, along a road, across a country, for miles and miles and miles. And then there would be another office that would receive that message. The machine would send a couple of beeps, electrical beeps, and another office would have a machine that received those beeps and could make use of them. This was the earliest electrical communication, remember. This was before we had learnt how to send words, send speech like I'm speaking to you now. All we could send was beeps. There were lots of scientists who worked on this and developed this technology, but there were two in particular that we're going to talk about today. Vail invented something that was almost a bit like a printer because it received beeps and then it marked a piece of paper. And if it was a short beep or a long beep, it would mark the piece of paper in different ways. Samuel Morse invented a code so that each beep would mean something. So you could get a combination of beeps, but then if you knew the code and you knew the language, you could read those beeps just like you can read a book. You can read your name, you can read words on a page. So we're going to look today at Samuel Morse's code, famously called Morse Code, named after him. You might have heard of it before. And it's very simple. It's just made of two little characters. There aren't 26 letters of the alphabet in Morse code, there are just two. One is a dot, beep, and one is a dash, beep. By the way, I'm going to do a few beeps and beeps now, and I'm probably going to sound a bit crazy for the next little while, but go with it, it's good fun. So Samuel Morse went to a newspaper printing press and he looked at all the little letters that they used to print the newspapers. And whichever letters were more worn down, he thought, those ones are obviously used lots. So looking at this Morse code, you can see which are the most common letters because he gave them easy dots and dashes. E is just a dot, beep. T is just a dash, beep. A is a dot and a dash, beep, beep. So what I would like you to do for our first activity, I would like you to please get a piece of paper or a whiteboard or something like that and write your name. Now you don't need to write the letters really big, but it would be helpful if you spread the letters out. Maybe even put a finger space between them. Because you're going to write your name, the letters, and then underneath each letter, I would like you to please do the dot and dash in Morse code for that letter. So for example, here's my name, T-O-M. We won't do Atomic Tom for now because that's a bit long. The code for T is a dash, beep. The code for O is 3 dashes, beep, beep, beep. And the code for M is 2 dashes, beep, beep. Just by coincidence, I have no dots in my name. Now we draw vertical lines between the letters because otherwise my name in Morse code would just be 6 dashes and we wouldn't know where one letter starts and another one ends. It could be 2 O's or 3 M's or 6 T's. We put the lines in so we know which little bit is for each letter. So it's as easy as that. Might sound complicated, but I'm going to leave this Morse code alphabet here on the screen, and I would like you to please write the letters of your name with the dots and dashes underneath. It might be a good idea to pause the video now because you can take as long as you need to do that, and then after you've done that, as a little bit of a practice, we'll go into some other ones. It might also be a good idea to write your full name or the name of the town or village you live in, whatever you like. Just practice all of those different letters. You don't have to learn them all. The alphabet is here, but you might notice that some get a bit more familiar. So off you go. Right, well done with that. It's good fun when you get into it. You can use this language to send secret codes. Instead of just writing them down now though, I'm going to actually make some sounds. I'm going to do some dots and dashes. And what I would like you to do is pretend that you're in one of those little telegraph offices receiving beeps in your ears. You're hearing the sound like a speaker or something like that. And all I'd like you to do is when I do a beep or a beep, a dot or a dash, just write it down. I'm going to spell out a word to you in Morse code now, and I would like you to see if you can work out what that word is. So just a couple of tips to make it a little bit easier. The dots and dashes are very easy to write down. Beep is a short one, just a dot. Beep is a long one, just a dash. When I pause, like that, that means it's a new letter. And what do we do to do a new letter? A vertical line, so we know that letter is finished, the next one's about to start. And then I'll do the sounds for the next letter, and so on. And another thing to help, try not to work out what letters I have put while you're writing them down, while I'm making the noises. Because if you try and work out one, you might miss the next one. So get all the letters down, get all the noises down, and then work out what letter is what at the end. So nice and easy, the first word is only going to be 3 letters. Pens and paper at the ready? Here we go. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. beep, beep, beep. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time. Double check. It should be the same, but if it's not, that was a practice. But hopefully it's the same word I'm spelling out. Okay, let's go again. Are we ready? First letter. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, did you get that? Yes, I spelt out poo. If that's the only thing you remember, we now know how to spell poo in Morse code. You're welcome. Okay, let's go for a slightly trickier word now. Let's go for one a bit longer. Pens and pencils at the ready. Pause if you need to. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. 7 letters, that one. Hopefully you got it. If not, go back to this time and you can listen to it again. You don't have to get every letter to know what the word is. We all make spelling mistakes sometimes, but we still know what a word is, don't we? So don't give up. If you need to listen to it again, even if you miss a letter, just miss a letter and then carry on. So give that a try. Did you get it? Yes, it was science. Of course it was. I'm so predictable. So hopefully you can use this new language, you can use this new code. The better you get at learning them all, you can read it and just send messages to each other without hardly anybody actually understanding what it says, without going and looking up the Morse code. And remember, you now know how to spell poo in Morse code. So, nice big atomic science shout. Are we ready? Atomic!